Hello everyone, once again, this is Patrick Ademibokul, the founder and the CEO of True Foundation International. We started a conversation a couple of days ago, and I wanted to touch on a few things that I did not. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions on. I think I mentioned that the individual was taken to different countries, and I'd like to touch on that area a little bit. And she was exploited in different ways, all the ways that you can think about that traffickers exploit their victims. That's what she experienced emotionally, physically, in every way you can think, unfortunately, sadly. So you don't want to find yourself in that kind of situation, and you should keep your eyes open and be very careful, especially whilst you're on social media, who you talk to. And I would say don't share nudes, but it's left to you to decide if and when you should. It's not a good idea. It's definitely, there's a lot of chance that something like that might happen, and if you've been doing it, it's definitely, I would advise you to stop. I strongly recommend that you find that, if you should at some point, I would advise you wait until you think the time is actually ripe enough to do something like that. If you feel compelled to do something like that. All right. Okay. So once again, it's good to have you around, and it's good to see you. And thank you very much for all your comments and your likes, your shares, and your recommendations, your insights, your love from social media towards the foundation. We definitely really appreciate all that you're doing, and all your commitment and your donations, your help, your support, financially and spiritually, your prayers towards our foundation and everything. Like I said the last time, we launched a campaign, and the campaign is to end human trafficking globally. That's the plan. And we're looking forward to who is ready to work with us as a team, and to put a stop to this collaboration. We're open to collaboration. We're open to partnerships, and you're welcome to join this fight. And I'm very confident that this is a fight that we all can win. We can win together. I can't do it by myself. The True Foundation International is not enough to end this fight by itself. So we need you to get involved and to support in whichever way you can. You're very welcome, and we are. Our hands are open. Our hearts are open, and our doors are open always. And we're looking forward to see you. For you to reach out. Please reach out. We're expecting a word from you. Like I said, I've already touched on that particular case, and eventually, what I would like to say is what ended up happening to that particular individual, that particular victim, who is now a survivor, who is thriving by God's grace. Thank God for that. She's doing very well, relatively. But you want to pay attention to victims or survivors' mental health as well. It's going to take time for that to be, corrected or fixed, or you know what I mean. It's not going to happen automatically. So please keep her in your prayers. And yes, that's probably all I'm going to have to say about that particular case. The other case I'll be talking about today is a particular 13-year-old girl who got trafficked to Algeria. It started in a very interesting way. The stepmom is the one taking care of this little girl, and she gave her up to her family members, one of her family members, maybe cousins or something like that. So it's basically it's a familial kind of trafficking, and she wasn't the only one. There was actually 5 of them, 5 girls who got trafficked to Algeria, and they came and they said, we have a program. We have something like that in African countries where people will say, I have a program for your daughter, or I have a program for your son, or family member, and we, especially in very poor, rural, or or vulnerable communities, people reach out and say, I have a program for your child, and this child, according to, in this particular case, they said, I'll be taking your child, there's a place in Algeria where your child can work and make money, and clean hotels or do some work in a hotel, and be able to take care of themselves. Considering the situation the family finds themselves in, they can't, they can't provide food, or sometimes they would go for days or a day sometimes without food. So there was a lot of suffering in the house, and it was taking a toll on the kid. So, and the kid unfortunately wasn't very interested in going to school. So this mother or stepmom, she thought it was a good idea to hand over this child, and but the traffickers, it was actually two ladies. One of them, she was called Fifi, and then there's another one called, I can't remember her name, Lady M or something like that. Yeah. And then they said they are in Algeria at the moment and still trafficking children, unfortunately. So they ask, say, we need to, in order for us to do this, you're gonna have to pay some amount because it's not free. So the stepmom went to all lengths to pay the money, and by even going to the point where she had to go to take a credit, to loan some amount just so she can make the payment. So she ended up making the payments to the traffickers, and they took the child to together with other four girls to Algeria. And then she got stranded, and she was really going through a lot of difficulties. She was there until a good amount of time, for years, before she was the foundation rescued her and repatriated her back to Sierra Leone. She was sold twice to different traffickers. When she found out that, first time she went there, she found out that she didn't realize what was going on. She didn't even know what, I probably think she probably didn't even know what trafficking was. So she got, one thing I just remembered that I think I should tell you guys is, what I made to understand is, they would take you to one person, and then they would say, this is a person that owns you, like a slave. This is a person that owns you. This lady is your owner, and you're gonna have to go out and have sex with different men, as many as possible, until you and get as much money as possible and bring it. What I made to understand is, what I was told is, when you go, they would say, okay, you have to pay $40. And the person, the slave or the victim, will bring the money and say, oh, here is the payment for today's work. And when after that payment is being made, she will give $40, and then what they will enter in the book is $20, reducing it by $20. So instead of, she would think that I'm working on my goals, and the plan is to finish up, to pay, for example, $1,000 or $500 until she's considered free and she can do whatever she wants to do with her life. But so basically, instead of entering on the book that she paid $40, they would put $20 instead. So basically, that payment will never end. She will just continue. I mean, paying and paying and paying. And at some point, they will just say, "Oh, I have something else to do. I have new people, and I'm going to pass you on to someone else." And then the other person will start it all over again. And that payment never ends. And the other person, she gets sold to a new person, a new lady. I think Lady M. She got sold to this new lady, and she would start all over again. Yeah, and then it got to a point when she was about to be sold again to another person, and then she ran away and was living with someone else who helped, who wasn't. I mean, like I want to believe so wasn't a trafficker, because he is the one that reached out for us to help. And that's how we were able to rescue this girl and bring her back to Sierra Leone. And she came back. She came back in with ill health, not doing very well. But now, we took her to the hospital, and she's been doing fine ever since. And now she's back, and we put her in a vocational training school. She just started a sewing class, and in a vocational training center in Sierra Leone. Yeah. So these are things you should watch for. Someone coming to your place and say, "I have a program." That you have a lot. I mean, you have tons of that kind of situation or circumstances or cases where people come up and say, "I have a program. I can help your child." This person is not an ambassador, or doesn't work in a council, or is not an embassy. They don't have the power to do that. They don't have the opportunity. They don't have the privilege. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the skills. They don't have they don't have what it takes for you to travel. If you really want to travel, go to an embassy and go through the right channel. If you think, because eventually, sometimes most people end up spending way more than what is required to travel. Because I know of other cases that I would probably talk about at some other time, that people end up spending almost, I can't remember, I think $16,000 to come to the US, that ended up getting getting scammed. So that's another case that I would leave for another day, that I would touch on. That's another very serious case that you want to listen to, you want to hear, you would like to hear it. It's something that you need to hear, so you prepare, or you know when someone is trying to scam you or trying to traffic you. It's a very terrible situation, and it's not something you want to find yourself in. So that's the reason why I decided to do this, and to talk on, to make sure you guys are enlightened, and you are, well informed, and you know when to say no, and when to stay away, when to report. Especially in Sierra Leone, for example, you can always call 555 and report that case, and then we'll know exactly what needs to be done. And there's another number that you can call. It's called, it's 232 805 77777. It's supposed to be 5 sevens. Yeah, so you can call that number as well, or if you happen to be in the US, you can call my number 617-602-9660. I won't be able to say everything on all of these videos. I will say as much as possible, and but I will definitely continue talking about this and exposing the traffickers and what they're doing in their activities and operations until as much as possible And I'm open to people reaching out and giving me their stories and how they got trafficked. So I can educate the public and I can inform, appropriately and accordingly inform everyone on how these things happen, so they don't find themselves in this kind of situation anymore. Yeah, that's the only way we can beat trafficking. We can end trafficking in the world, in different countries. It happens everywhere, unfortunately. We have, cases all over the world, and we definitely looking forward to help everyone if we can. But like I always say, we are open to donations. We are open to your support. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have anything that you would like to do to support and to help the foundation. We are trying to put together donations also to send out to different populations, because people lack opportunities, people lack certain things. That's weirdly enough, not weirdly, but unfortunately, that really causes or leads people to find themselves get into this kind of situation. Yeah.